Hey, good afternoon. My name is Kali Seekin L. Day, and I am your astrologer, nutritionist, and herbalist. Many people have come and asked me over and over, hey, what's going on? What's going on? I mean, we know that we're dealing with a global pandemic. We're dealing with a lot of international intrigue. We're dealing with a lot of things that are disquieting and, just troubling and unsettling for most people. Now, what we are experiencing in the third dimension has its origins in the metaphysical spiritual world. And these things that I speak of are universal. Today, I come to you to explain to you some of these happenings so that you will get a grip on just how serious they are, just how deep they are ingrained into what we know to be the spiritual universe, and which has its manifestation here on the third dimension on our earth. Now, I have been asked by a dear friend to actually speak to one particular subject, although this change that is happening is on many levels. But right now, I'm just going to concentrate on the polar shift. I know we've heard about the polar shift, and a lot of people don't really understand what that means. What we do know is that our Earth turns around on its axis, and it moves in such a way that it creates for us a summer and a winter. And we know, we've heard about the equinoxes, April 21st, and which is the spring equinox, and then the fall equinox, September 21st. Okay? Then we have the solstices, which is like the summer solstice, which is June 21st, and the winter solstice, which is December 21st. Okay, so these changes are the result of the the rotation of our Earth on its axis, and as the Earth turns on its axis, the Earth actually moves like this. It's like a spinning top that moves this way and that way. When it's beginning to turn, or it's beginning to stop, it moves this way and that way, a spinning top. Okay, so what is happening now is as our sun moves around the pole, the North Pole, there are a group of constellations that it actually encounters. And every 4,000 years, then the constellations that are on the horizon at the very North Pole changes. Now, the one that we are presently in, and we always hear about the pole star being Polaris, we call it the North Star. And there was the age of the Draco. The North Star was Draco, and then it became Polaris. And when the pole shifts, which is is actually happening now, we don't know the date or the time when it will actually occur. But Some of the natives in the north, Alaska and so forth, they are reporting that the sun is coming up at different places now. This is because there is a wobbling of the earth and it's changing. It's changing. This is okay. Now, the reason why I wanted to mention Draco right here, I have this on the wall. Can you see it? Okay. Draco, the dragon, a constellation that circles the North Pole. Draco is the dragon that guards the, this is the mythology of it now. It's the dragon that guards the golden apples in the Garden of Eden, the evening nymphs. In others, the sunset, those beautiful golden colors and oranges and reds that you see when the sun is setting. And they are the daughters of Atlas. Draco is the pole star prior to the present pole star, Polaris. Now, Polaris is like the tail of the Little Dipper. We hear about the Little Dipper, and most of us, as we are children, it's pointed out to us at night. Of course, because so many of us are live in cities, we can't even see it. And there's too much light at night, and so we can't see the stars at night. Now, why I want to mention Draco is because it represents the dragon. So we're coming out of the age of the dragon. We came out of the age of dragon into the age of Polaris, or the tail of the small bear, the little bear, you know, which is the constellation of the little bear. And this is the pole star, Polaris, that is about to change. And it's about to change to Cepheus, the king of Ethiopia, a constellation that circles the North Pole. Now, Cepheus's wife is Cassiopeia, queen of Ethiopia, who bragged about her beauty, and the great god cursed Cepheus and sent plagues to Ethiopia. King Cepheus or Cephas was ordered to sacrifice his daughter Andromeda, but she was saved from death by Perseus or Jupiter. Now, this is mostly the Greek mythology of it, but this explains that what we are seeing is the rise of the Ethiopian king, which will rule over the earth for the next 4,000 years. It will be the pole star or the guiding star. If you are aware, or perhaps you're not aware, if you are a navigator of any sort, whether it be by plane or by boat, then you have to focus on that permanent star, which at this time is Polaris. But as we are now experiencing this pole star, we're about to go under the pole star of the Ethiopian king. Now, what does this mean on Earth? Okay, it means that there's a great change of energy here on Earth. And Draco, the dragon, the energy or the power of that dragon is now changing. What do we know about Draco? And what do we know about Polaris? Polaris, okay. Let's look at the bear. The bear is represented by the Northern European countries, and especially I think that Russia actually has the bear as its mascot. but it also represents that bear of the northern cold climes, the polar bear. And they have had the rule over the last 2,000 years. Now, what is happening now with the change of the energy, the Cepheus or Cepheus, whichever one you want to call it, is now ascending the power of Ethiopia, the power of the African races, or should I say the non-European melanated races. This power is coming up. And this is why, especially now, if in the last 6 months, what we are seeing is that change of the energy that is being displayed by the melanated people on Earth. We are seeing the African people, the other races of so-called Negroid people, and we inhabit all of the continents. We are not just in Africa. We are in the Americas, we are in Africa, we are in the islands scattered across the world. And we are those people, and it is the energy that is rising that is going to dominate the world in the next 4,000 years. Now, these energies and these changes are gradual. And so we're just seeing the awakening of the people. But this is something that cannot be stopped. You see, because we don't have any power over what the great God is doing. We have no power over changing what is happening here on this earth. It is going to happen no matter what anybody who thinks they're the ruling big guys. They can't do anything about this because this is the change of the world. This is a world change that cannot be prevented. And so what does this mean for, let's say where we are now here in the Americas and also in the African continent and all of the melanated people around the world, and especially the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered around the world. We, the melanated 12 tribes of Israel. What does this mean? It means that we are awakening from the deep sleep that we have been in under the rulership and the power of the bear. Those Northern Europeans who have dominated the earth for so long. And so I have come to you to try to explain what is exactly happening. So as we awaken, we will assume our power as rulers of this earth, on this earth at this time. We are seeing it again in a group that has just kind of flexed its power and has arisen on the scene. And we saw them first in New Brunswick, and then we saw them here in Atlanta at Stone Mountain, and they call themselves In Fact. And this being a militia group which has actually stimulated the melanated males on Earth, and this has become international. Very exciting times because we are seeing the men actually find their power, find their mental and spiritual power, led by the Most High, great God, who is in charge of this particular movement, and also in charge of this polar shift, like I said, Nothing can prevent this from happening. This is the time, this is the day, and the Great Spirit is in charge of everything. Now, there are several things that I wanted to show you, to actually explain to you what I was showing or talking about. As you can see in this circle, this represents, okay. This represents the most northern pole star here. And as the Earth turns, and these particular constellations are on the rise, we can see that here we have Draco, and it came in around 4000 BC, and all the way up to 2000 BC. It came in at 8000 BC, all the way up to 4000 BC. And so Polaris came in, and we see Polaris is the tail of Ursa Minor, or Ursa being the bear, and it came into being, and we are at the year 2000, and what is happening is that Cepheus is actually on the rise right here. You can see that. And the thing about the constellation of Cepheus, they say that you can identify it in the night sky because it looks like a house. You see there's the roof there, and it's kind of square. Okay, and so I just wanted to show you an example of this so that you could kind of get a visual on it. But I also want to show you this in the night sky. Behind me, I have a galactic star map. And this is very special to me. I've had it for 48 years, and every night when I go to sleep, it lights up, and I see the Milky Way at night, and then all of the great stars. So here we have Cepheus here, and you see I have a line going through this. I think I have to explain to you. I wasn't going to go here, but in order for you to understand why I have these white lines here, in a longer video I will explain this. There was something which we called, it was like a prophecy that appeared to myself and my husband back in 1995 in San Francisco. We called it the Cosmic Prophecies of San Francisco. And it would look like graffiti on the wall, but we started taking pictures, and we realized that it was a prophetic message, and it came from Ptah. You know, Ptah, the creator God. We didn't believe it either, but it turned out to be so deep. And I will share that with you in another video at another time. It's kind of long, and I don't want to go into it now because I'm trying to explain to you Cepheus, the Ethiopian king, and I want to stay on point. But the reason why I have these white lines is because in the Cosmic Prophecies of San Francisco, there were certain numbers that kept on coming up. It was 104, 189, 104, 189, 104, 189. And it was so strange because couldn't figure out what on earth could it be? What is it? 104, 189? And then I was out on the beach, and I should say that the Cosmic Prophecies appeared on the wall that broke the waves in San Francisco at the Pacific Ocean. So these are where I call them the hip hop hieroglyphs. This is where they appeared on the beach wall. Okay, so as we were leaving at the beach, I was doing the what do they call it? The yoga, the 12. I was doing the yoga exercise, and I leaned all the way back with my arms back, and I looked at the sky. I said, let me go look at my star map. And when I went and put 104, it gave me the star Sirius. And it's the brightest star in the sky, the star Sirius, or the dog star, the heat of which we are under today. And it is what the old folks call the dog days. And I didn't know what dog days was at that time. Now I understand. The dog star Sirius, which is in the mythology of all of the ancient people. And every pyramid on earth is pointed toward Sirius, the dog star. And then 189 was the Virgin. Okay, Virgo, the Virgin. And so, okay, being a mathematician and so forth, I said, okay, and an astrologer. I said, well, there's a third point. So let me put that third point, the midpoint between these two, right here, okay? And this third point creates the Hebrew letter Yod, which is the finger of God. Okay? The Yod, which you used to see, I remember in the 60s, they always had, that finger of God, or the Yod, it was supposed to mean peace. Well, it's the finger of God. So in seeing this, it crosses Cepheus. So I knew then that our home star, which is Sirius, and all of the ancient tribes say that we come from Sirius, okay? The Sirius A, B, Sirius B, and then Sirius C, which you cannot see. And my own belief in my astronomical studies, not astrology, but astronomy, I know that, or I believe that our sun is that Sirius C that cannot be seen. Okay, that's my belief, and I believe I'm right. And so the finger of God has actually pointed to Cepheus. So I'm so excited to bring you this information. You'll probably have to look at and study this many times, but just know and understand that the finger of God has pointed to the Ethiopian king. And there's nothing we can do about that. We just here. There is a belief, and I will go into it in a further video. There is a belief that this earth, we are in a matrix, and that movie, The Matrix, was much deeper than most of us ever realize. And I believe that the sister who wrote it, her work was stolen by Hollywood. She sued, and she was awarded $25 million, I believe, but she never got it because Hollywood is so powerful. Her name is Sophia, of course, the goddess of wisdom, Sophia Stewart. And I believe she was also led to reveal to us this information about our living inside of a matrix. And there is a higher intelligence, some of the highest intelligence, human intelligence on the earth, who actually confirm and believe that we operate inside of a matrix, and that there is some higher power outside of us who are controlling this matrix. And so there's so much more that it remains to be said. I have not spoken about the other the changes that are happening, which is leaving the Piscean age and going into the Aquarian age. I have not even touched on that. We have the pole shift. We have the changes of ages. We are also moving through a galactic center, which is right down in here. You see the constellation Sagittarius. Okay, this is down here where the galactic center is. Okay? So we're also moving across the galactic center. So this is also changing because what is going on is that there's so much power coming out of the galactic center, they believe that it is a black hole. Okay? And so a black hole actually has so much energy in it that we are pulled into it, but it also emits so much energy. So all of this power is happening at the same time. And I would love to have an opportunity to talk to you about it in detail and take one by one, just like I took Cepheus, the king of Ethiopia. I want to take also up all of these other movements and changes that are happening. Also, I want to point out the fact that I actually wrote a tiny little book. It's a little booklet. It's called Global Transformations, The Rise of the Feminine Power, Virgo, or Isis, and the Ascension of the Ethiopian King. Okay? Of course, we know that the Ethiopian King is ascending to the pole star. So I'm so happy to just have the opportunity to share this, because I don't get to talk too much. There are people who would say different, but I do not get a chance to actually address a wider audience to speak on these topics. But I promise you that I will come forth to give you more details. And I will also make available this booklet and a PowerPoint presentation of the cosmic prophecies of San Francisco. That way you can take a look at what Ptah, the creator god of Egypt, ancient Egypt, Ptah, P-T-A-H, but it's pronounced Ptah. They say he is the creator god, and he's the one who put that information on the wall in San Francisco. So I look forward to the opportunity. If you want to ask questions or order this little booklet, so that when I come to you again, just address your inquiries to Kohari Holistic Enterprises, and that's 3645 Marketplace Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia, 30344. Again, Kohari, Kohari Coharay, Kohari Holistic, and that's whole, WHOLISTIC Enterprises, 3645 Marketplace Boulevard, Suite 130-716, Atlanta, Georgia 30344. And also by email, koharivillage@gmail.com. That's COHARAY Village VILLAGE @gmail.com. I thank you so much. I appreciate your attention. I look forward to addressing you again. And if I can help you out, just send me an email. Thank you so much. Peace.